Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, got a post here from Credible Crypto that I want to share with you, and then I've got an update on top of this because I think this is something that you would like to see. So, Credible Crypto says, alright, this is actually pretty insane. Below is a list of the top 5 NFT projects by volume today across all chains including Ethereum, Solana, XRP, HBAR and Base. Yes, Dead Pixels on Hedera has done more volume today than any other NFT collection in the entire space, with exception of Moonbirds, Pudgy Penguins, Bored Apes and CryptoPunks. So, that is very impressive. Very, very impressive. Then they've got here's their respective floor prices denominated in ETH. So you've got Moonbirds, which is 3.8 Ethereum. You've got Pudgy Penguins, which is 12.8 Ethereum. Bored Apes, which is 11.6 Ethereum. CryptoPunks, 47 Ethereum. And Dead Pixels, which is 0.10 Ethereum. One of these seems a bit undervalued. That's what Credible Crypto is saying. Great point there. So, just to give you an update after this, we've actually got very recently the Hedera Foundation saying, babe, wake up. Dead Pixels just surpassed Pudgy Penguins and CryptoPunks in 24-hour volume. Very impressive. Very impressive. So, Pudgy Penguins is not an NFT I'm as familiar with, to be honest with you. CryptoPunks is one I'm familiar with. CryptoPunks is one I remember seeing about a year or so ago when people was making it their avatar. They was buying a CryptoPunk and then having it as their avatar. So I'm familiar with CryptoPunks and Bored Apes. From the previous bull run, NFTs really did have a big momentum shift. Like it really did have its moment and its time, along with meme coins, and Bored Apes was one of the real big NFTs of the previous bull run. So I'm very familiar also with Bored Apes. But this is very promising, right? You've got here Dead Pixels and they're doing really, really good. And I'll quickly show you their profile here. So you've got Dead Pixels, We're Already Dead, mint a random ghost from our collection here. 22,000 followers. Guys, like, it's looking very impressive. I'm not going to get too big into the spiel here when it comes to NFTs, because I've said it before, but the way I look at NFTs, I just look at it as digital art. I know a lot of people just look at NFTs kind of like they look at meme coins. The way I look at NFTs is it's just subjective to what people, think of it. Like, so for example, if you used to say to me, what would I pay for a painting? I could look at it and say, I wouldn't even pay $10 for this painting. To me, I don't really like it. But you could have someone on the other hand who's, very into art, and they look at it and think it's worth, $100,000, for example, right? So it comes down to what people think. So do I think that some people do abuse NFTs just to make money? Yes, I do. But at the same time, if people are willing to pay that and people are trading at these prices, buying and selling the NFTs, then that's what they deem it to be valued at. So I do think sometimes the intentions are not always pure. I do think sometimes they do just look at it as a money grab, but I do think some people are just trying to create their own digital art, and I do think that they just want it to be successful. So, I look at this, and as I said before, in the previous bull run, NFTs did have a moment, right? Like NFTs really was a big thing. So I'm very intrigued to see, like, in this bull run, what's going to happen, because, if you're seeing how Dead Pixels is doing right now, let's see what would happen in the bull run really kicking off. Because right now, yes, you've got like Bitcoin doing its thing, and we have got cryptos pumping, don't get me wrong, but it's not like the proper alt season yet. Like, you'll know when you're in alt season, because it won't just be select cryptos that are going up. Everything will pretty much be going up, and we're not talking about 2%. You're talking like 10%, 20%, 50%, hundreds of percent. Like, it's that kind of activity that we're dealing with. And so if we do get to that euphoria, which I believe we will, it's the same thing with NFTs. They'll be buying any and everything that's looking good, right? Because it's all about people just trying to make money at that point. It's just FOMOing into any and everything that they think they can try and make money out of. So, where it just said like Dead Pixel seems like it could be undervalued, you could be worthwhile maybe getting into dead pixels. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I don't know how this is going to go long term. Who knows? It could fall flat on its face. But the activity is very promising. And so I don't know where it's going to go long term. I don't know how it's going to pan out. But I'm just showing you this because the stats speak for themselves. You know, for them to overtake 2 huge NFT collections on HBAR, like, it's saying a lot. It really is saying a lot, because you got to remember as well, Ethereum have got the bigger user base, right? So even that's a difficult task in of itself. So I think this is really interesting, and I think this could be something that could be huge for, you know, HBAR in the long term. So look, I'm not going to tell you what to do, and I'll be honest with you, for me personally, I'm not going to get involved in NFTs right now, simply because I've got all my cryptos at this point, and this bull run for me is about just making a life-changing wealth with what I've got. I'm not really trying to, you know, get more stuff at this point. I'm kind of happy with what I have. I'll maybe look into NFTs in the next bull run, so I'm just being transparent here, but that's just because that's, for me, I've already got like 20 cryptos, so I'm going to have my hands full dealing with that when the bull run comes, trying to, you know, sell percentages of my cryptos and get, you know, some of them all completely sold off. So I've got my hands full, right? Like, I've got my hands full and I've got a lot to concentrate on. But for you guys, you know, if this is something that you're interested in, you're into NFTs, maybe you want to check it out. You know, like, they look like they've got a promising future from this, you know, looking at how they're doing. So it might be worth checking out. So just to let you know, their handle on X is @deadpixels_club. So feel free to have a look, or if you give them a Google, I'm sure their details will come up, their credentials. But yeah, for me, I'm just looking at this, and this is something that could be great for the HBAR ecosystem. You know, NFTs, I do think will have their place in the end. I don't think this will be a fad. You know, like, when I look at like meme coins, for example, that to me is like a fad. I think it's just people gambling with meme coins. But with NFTs, I do look at it differently, because, as I say, it can be subjective in terms of it's art. It is art, and that just comes down to what people value the art to be. So, you know, like, that's just going to be a thing of it's worth what people deem it to be worth. So, you know, I just thought I'd share this with you, but I think this is real good stuff. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell. Take care.